From 40 contacts to 650 plus closings, the relationship system that agents can copy.
Welcome to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast.
We're your hosts, David and Al Denning.
What happens when a millennial couple dives headfirst into the insurance world, scales $1 million remote business, and decides to share the journey with the world?
You get the Modern Insurance Agent.
Here, we reveal the messy, magical, and sometimes hilarious realities of building a business and a life you love.
From traveling the globe to building remote teams. Yes, even working remotely on top of a mountain in the Philippines. We're sharing insights, strategies, and plenty of laughs to help agents and entrepreneurs succeed.
Because, let's face it, success isn't just about hitting numbers.
It's about designing a life that works for you.
So let's dive in and build something extraordinary together.
Welcome back to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast. If you want a business fueled by referrals, not cold leads, today's guest has the blueprint. But before we hop in, you guys can get all the show notes, all the goodies as usual, as well as how to connect with our awesome guest. If you guys go to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast, we put it all together for you. So go grab it. So I'm joined by Garrett Maroon, founder of 210 Realty Group and the Faithful Agent and author of The Balanced Breakthrough. He built a top 1% team in Southeast Virginia and has closed 650 plus homes entirely through relationships. Today, we're going to translate his systems to insurance and unpack how to build true realtor relationships and partnerships the right way. So let's dive on in. Welcome to the show, Garrett.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, David. You guys will be able to check out David on my show here, and I don't know when the timing is, right? But I'm not going to have as cool of an intro as you, David. So, you're putting me to shame here, buddy. But
that's all L. That's all L, right?
Nice,
I just show up, right?
Got to shout out the wife, dude. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm excited to be here. And as you and I have talked many times, the insurance and the real estate agent business are so similar. Yeah, so I think this is going to be impactful and hopefully helpful for your agents.
I think absolutely for those that are watching and viewing this, it's helping people with the most important things and at some of the biggest stages of life, right? And buying a home, selling a home, moving, relocating, downside, all those are major events that happen periodically through people's lives. And that's where coming in, being able to help guide them through those processes is huge. Insurance agents also a part of those different areas and processes as well. And also working with people on the important areas of their lives as well. So I think it's big because they're both relationship-based businesses, in my opinion, and I know in your opinion as well. And so we'll talk about that a little bit because I feel like in some way the industries have maybe moved away or lost that a little bit. And those that really know that that's the case have done very well with continued on the relationship side. So we'll dive into that. And I think one of the best places to probably start is the beginning, right? So tell me all about your birth story and everything there, right, Garrett? So we can fast forward a little bit on that.
It was a dark and stormy night on March 2nd, 1987. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, no, and I'll real quick too, just to encourage your audience. I mean, I have a lot of respect for insurance agents because I think what you all do is harder. Because when someone shows up to a real estate agent, they already want what we have. I mean, they want to buy a house. They need to sell their house, whatever it is. For an insurance agent, a lot of it is, I got to convince you. Now, you need homeowner insurance, whatever. But if it's other products, I got to convince you even need it. And then convince you that I'm the right one that's going to help you when you can go shop, on whatever, insurance.com. I have no idea. So I actually think your business is more challenging, honestly, in a lot of ways. So my story. So I was working at higher education. I was an assistant director of admission at my alma mater here in Newport News, Virginia. Once I graduated, I was working there making like 42 grand or 40 grand a year. My wife and I were married, didn't have kids at the time, but realized, when we have children, Lord willing, she's going to want to come home and not work anymore and raise the kids. I can't do that on 40 grand. Like, there's no way. And so I actually went and got a job offer as a production manager for a builder, making like 55 grand a year, but they're going to give me a truck. And I thought, man, I'm going to be rich out of my mind. And my wife came to me and said, I actually think you'd be really good at real estate. And so, long story short, I trusted her and essentially launched. Because of that, I grew up and it was like, don't do commission. That's not how this works. Like, this is not good. Average agent sells 7 homes a year. And I remember my parents trying to talk me out of it, David. And I said, I was 27, man. I didn't know what I was doing, but I said, I'm not coming into real estate to be average. I want to be better than that. I don't know if I can't be. And man, it took me a long time to even really get launched. I started, but it took me 5.5 months to make my first sale. I almost quit at month 3 because I thought, well, if I can't sell a home in 3 months, maybe I'm not good at this. And we had just created this arbitrary time frame, right? My wife and I. And thankfully, we just decided to keep going. And there's a lot to that, right? But man, since then, it's changed my life, right? Being an entrepreneur has totally changed my life. And I've learned so many things along the way. And it has been such an incredible blessing that I want to give back to my industry, to your industry, to the mortgage industry, to the title industry. I mean, there's so many things all connected because I just think there's a better way. And too many families are either helped by the success of the agent, but maybe the agent themselves is not home when they should be home. And you got into it for time freedom, money freedom, and maybe you have one of them. There's a way to do both, right? And there's an incredible opportunity that's in front of us. We just got to make sure we're doing the right things more often. So yeah, brother, excited to be here. I've got my wife, Rachel. We've been married for 13 years. We got 5 little kids, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 3 months. And man, they keep us busy. And but man, it's the reason why I want to succeed and do home and do business well. So yeah, man, excited to be here.
I love that. And when you said that she thought that you would do well in real estate, and brought that up, was it she had come from real estate or knew about real estate, or what had her say, like, you'd be good at this, and then also this particular industry?
Man, great question. I think she knows that I talk too much. And so I should probably be in an industry where you got to talk a lot. Yeah. No, man, that's a phenomenal question. I honestly don't know that I've ever asked her that. We had bought a house in 2012 and really, really liked our agent. And he and I were extremely similar and had gotten to know him. And so I think she just thought you would probably do this well. Her dad was a builder and so had some understand business, sure, but some understanding of real estate. I think she just thought I'd do it well, man. And I try to honor and trust my wife because she's smarter than I am. So I did it. And I'm super thankful for that.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll have to talk at some point because I had somewhat of a similar story, leaving corporate, moving on to entrepreneurship, like eat what you kill when you're building your own business and stuff,
Super
of course,
cool.
right? And it's exciting, but that continuous improvement every day and skill set development and kind of like getting to grow as a person through that is, I think, super powerful too.
Yeah, it is. I realized pretty quickly. So it took me probably 1.5 years, David, to even believe I was an entrepreneur, right? I think a lot of the newer agents in our industry, I'm sure in your industry, just business owners in general, you don't give yourself a long enough runway, right? You think, well, the plane's going to take off, but it should take off within 2 to 3 months. And if not, then maybe I'm not a good plane builder. Well, I don't think that's true. The only thing I know is true is now looking back and the people I've helped, people you've helped, I'm sure, the only thing I know is true is if you have an infinite runway, your plane will take off, right? It's not that your plane's not going to take off. It's that we shut it down too early. And so when we're discouraged, which happens early on, I'm still discouraged 11 years in sometimes, right? But when you're discouraged early on, when you're struggling, when you're wondering, what am I doing? Why is this not working? Well, maybe it's not working, but really you're learning all the ways that aren't going to work. And you got to figure out, now you're getting closer to the one that does. I love football. You don't know if you're on the 50-yard line or the 5-yard line. So don't give up. Maybe you're about to score a touchdown. And so I think that for me, I at least realized relatively early on that this game of being an entrepreneur is really my brain versus your brain. And if I can outthink you, I don't have to outwork you. But if I can outthink you and I can outwork you, man, that's the magic, right? And so I think that I started implementing for myself, David, what I call the 3 L's. So I started every day learning. I read for an hour a business book. Yeah, whatever I don't know which direction. I started every day for an hour reading. I spent the next hour lead generating. I spent the next 15 minutes launching my day, right? So making sure I was telling my day where to go. Well, I didn't know that was different than anybody else. I thought everyone was doing that. But what I realized relatively quickly was there were some people lead generating. Of course they were. There were some people learning. Of course there were. The majority of the competition was doing neither in any kind of consistent fashion. So, man, it wasn't that I was all of a sudden overtaking my competition, quote unquote. I want them to win too, but it wasn't that my business was growing faster than them all of a sudden. But year 1 or year 2, year 3, the compounding effect of 250 hours every year of lead generating, 250 hours of learning and having new ideas and thoughts and concepts and all these things, man, all of a sudden I took off when they didn't. And now I believe it's my job to go back and help them, right? But man, if you're stuck wherever you are or you're trying to get to the next level, you can't solve problems at the same level of thinking that created them. So you need new thoughts, right? Albert Einstein said that. And then you just got to tell your day where to go and be really intentional on your time. So, man, I'm passionate about helping those who are struggling, because you can get there and you will get there if you don't give up. That's the only criteria that's going to keep you from success, right? Is your willingness to just keep going. So, man, that's an encouragement for anybody listening that's maybe struggling.
I love that. I love the analogies as well. You mentioned Einstein, and then I'm bringing like Edison with the light bulb, right? Like every failure was just something learning what didn't work and then applying it going forward, right? And that continuation. And also the plane analogy, like we always talk about building the plane as we're flying it, right? Mm-hmm. So we're flying it and then constantly working on the business and improving, changing, adapting. It's kind of part of marketing and sales as well. And if you wait for the plane to be perfectly built and the runway to be perfect before you do anything and take action, then you never leave, right? So
that's right. Yeah. So they did this really interesting. Sorry, Dave, real quick. They did this really interesting. This high school teacher, I forget which state it was in, this a couple years ago. High school teacher wanted to test this theory, right, to your point, and split up the class into 2 groups. The first group, there was one project they had to do for the whole semester. That's what they're going to grade it on. The first group was graded solely on how good that project was at the end. The second group was graded solely on how often they started and finished that particular project, right? So it was all about the number of times. What happened at the end of the year? The group who had started and finished multiple times, not only had they done it more often, their project was significantly better, right? To your point, we tend to think, no, let's get it right. And I'm not saying get it wrong on purpose and be sloppy, but let's wait until it's perfect. Well, you don't even know if it's perfect, right? When you launch your podcast, when I launch my podcast, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. And am I perfect at it? No. But have I had enough? I mean, we're 270 episodes in. Have I had a lot of reps? Absolutely. So have I learned and gotten better? 100%, right? So as entrepreneurs, we need to be quicker to the launch, quicker to the action, quicker to those activities, because the only way I figure out what works is actually doing it. And so, man, to your point, you are building the plane as it's in the air, right? But it's okay. Try something, see if it works. If it doesn't, all right, try something else. That's fine. But don't be the person sitting there waiting. I got to wait for the perfect moment. I got to wait for the perfect piece to come in to make this plane go faster. You don't know it's perfect until you try it. So why wait on it, right? Let's be people of action instead of just sitting around hoping that things are going to get better. Hope's not a business plan. So yeah, man, I just think that's such a great example of that high school teacher doing that. And we need to be like that in business too.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's just like, you don't want to spend all that time and effort on what you think is perfect, only then find out I didn't know what was perfect and I was wrong and stuff. And so it's very much kind of the opposite of the field of dreams analogy, or like, if you build it, they will come. Is like, if you built it wrong or didn't build it right, then you just spent all that time and it's like, this baseball field's in the middle of nowhere. I should probably have built it where people were at, right? So, I don't know if that's the message that movie is sparking, but but
hey, it works, man. It works. Yeah.
And we talk about that growth, right? Like, most insurance agents, agency owners, and then also real estate side aren't coming in and like, cool, I've got 1 million deals lined up, ready to go off the bat, right? And so you started with 40 names in a database. And then what did that first few months of and 6 months or so, like relationship building look like? Like, how did you, hey, this is where I'm going to start off on developing out these relationships?
Yeah. So again, I'm 27 years old when I come in, and I took all the classes, right, on cold calling and for us, door knocking and buying leads, and social media wasn't as big of a deal then, but I did all of those things. The referral class, I did all of those classes because I don't know, I just wanted to succeed. But I had enough awareness, David, after I'd done those, that if I'm going to have a business 5 years from now, I don't want it to be built on anything but relationships. And so honestly, I made a bet that if I could just master relationships, that it would pay off better than trying to do all the things. And so, man, I'm fortunate that it did pay off. Now I worked my butt off to become an expert, but I've never made a cold call in 11 years, right? And in the real estate space, I've never hosted an open house, and agents do that all the time. I've never bought a lead. I've never done anything other than work by relationships. And I think that singular focus is why, now it took me a while to get off the ground, right? But it's why once I got off the ground, the plane was stronger, faster, ready to go, right? So when I came in, I had enough awareness to say, okay, I want to work by relationship. What does that mean? Well, I went to try to figure it out, and I thought I was figuring it out. But about 2.5 months in, David, I was leading music at our church. About 2.5 months in, one of the guys who played bass for us, his name is Jimmy. I saw him at a friend's birthday party. He comes in with this huge smile on his face. And I'm like, Jimmy, man, what are you so excited about? I said, Garrett, I just bought a house. And then his face immediately dropped. He's like, dude, I totally forgot you're a real estate agent, right? I'm like, hey, it's okay, man. I'm excited for you, whatever. Well, so then like that moment was really crucial for me. It forced me into a deep dive on consumer psychology. Why did that happen, right? We tend to assume, well, they know I'm an agent or they know I'm in insurance, so of course they're going to call me. They're my friend. Well, what you learn among many things, but what you learn in that instance is people recognize you only in one context. So if you're out of context of how they know you, they don't put those things together, right? So meaning you don't call your music leader at church to buy a house. You don't call the assistant director of admission, which is what I was. You don't call them to help you sell your home. You call a real estate agent. So if they're not thinking about me that way, they're moving on to somebody who is a real estate agent, right? It's if you saw your doctor, I don't know, your doctor in the grocery store, be like, who is, oh, that's my doctor, right? It's out of context. So I had to fix that problem. And so I only had 40 people. I was talking to them a lot. I only had 40 people, but what I had to do was, what I learned was for the next 6 months, every time I had a conversation with them inside the business, I always used business and real estate in every conversation because I needed to train them to think about me that way. Meaning, maybe it was, Jimmy, man, great seeing you at church yesterday. Hey, I wondered if you had a quick minute to talk business. I wanted to share with you what's going on in the real estate market, right? So I did that for 6 months. So, okay, now I was training my people how to think about me because I wanted to generate those referrals, right? And along the way, just learning and practicing and trying out different things that were going to create and deepen relationships. For 5.5 months, I was a volunteer at a nonprofit organization, right? Making nothing. But what I didn't realize is, everything I was doing was building really strong roots under the ground. It just hadn't sprouted yet. And I didn't know that. But looking back, when I saw the immediate growth that we started to have, that's why I was doing enough activity. I was learning, I was growing. And once you start to figure those pieces out, if you just are willing to execute, everything changes. So, that's what I was doing. I was failing, honestly, and it was causing me to go learn new things.
Mm-hmm. I love that approach. And I think, there's been studies have shown like those that are good with delayed gratification are usually the most successful in their industries and entrepreneurs that are building because it is a delayed gratification. It's not a quick snap. And so how did you balance through those first months and years of putting these things in place and maybe not immediately seeing results from them, and balance that kind of delayed gratification with moving through that at that time? Was that just had a really good support system, knew that maybe there's small wins you were seeing throughout that you knew were moving you closer to the goal line? Because you talked about, I don't know if I'm on the 50-yard line or the 5-yard line. How did you kind of both mentally and practically kind of handle that through that period?
Yeah, great question. So, for me, it was 5.5 months of nothing. And then after that, it kind of took off, right? So in my industry, 80% of agents sell fewer than 10 homes a year. Well, it took me 5.5 months to sell anything, but I ended up selling 14 that year, then 27 my first full year, then 50 every year after that, right? So it had put me in the top 1%. So, for 5.5 months, I was borrowing everyone else's belief that I could do this. So absolutely, I needed that. But then once I saw, wait a minute, that was progress. I actually sold something. everybody gets into entrepreneurship and wonders, can I actually do this? Right? Like, I think we go through this period of, I'm so excited I'm here. And then, wow, I didn't sell anything right away, or wow, I didn't write a contract or insurance. I don't know the terms, but that didn't happen for me right away. Wait a minute, maybe I'm not good at this. What am I supposed to do to, okay, I'm going to work my butt off, but I'm doing a bunch of stuff I don't want to do, to, wow, I made a sale. Maybe I can do this. Well, how did I get that sale? Like, we go through these transitions. And for me, it was the people around me, really my wife, right? The encouragement of saying, I think you can do this. Us sitting down at 3 months when we had agreed I'd quit. And I told her, I think I can figure this out. I honestly don't know, but can I get another 3 months? And we agreed, right? And so thankfully we did, or else, like I said, I would have cut my runway short. That plane would have never taken off. And our entire life has changed because we agreed to 3 months 11 years ago. And so I think the reality is, you gotta have belief. And if you're gonna borrow it from somebody, borrow it from somebody. Then when you get that deal, fantastic. That's an awesome feeling. But ask yourself the question, where did that come from? How do I do more of that activity? And man, it is just the compounding effect, right? I've had people like you. I mean, I've had people such a difference. They implement the system that I'm teaching and they sell a house month one. Some of them, it takes 6 months like me. I don't know, but I do know from the track record of everybody who's ever built a business that way, that it does work. I've never met anyone who's excellent at actually executing a systematic relationship building business that hasn't succeeded at some point. So for me, it was, again, that idea of, I didn't know if I was on the 50-yard line or the 5-yard line, but I did know if I kept going, eventually I'm going to score a touchdown. So I just have to keep going. That was literally my mentality. Thankfully, I scored the touchdown, and we were fortunate to keep scoring, right? And so, man, just continue to grow from there. But you got to have that belief early on.
I love that. I love the, having a support system, borrowing from others' beliefs, knowing that I'm moving forward. And, you talked about insurance maybe harder than real estate in some capacities, and, vice versa as well, is just longer sales cycles on real estate side, where, agents that are going, months without a sale, and insurance, like that's a long time without sales on that side. And so, I mean, I think it speaks to a lot of mentality with agents that are pushing through, struggling. I didn't get, a sale the first day. I didn't get a sale the first week. And, putting that time, efforts, and continuous improvement in that, knowing, hey, if I continue doing these things, sales will happen. And the only way to do is not stop before the touchdown. Right. So I love that. What are a few habits that ended up making referrals predictable for you, and that you're putting in place?
Yeah. So, I mean, I just started learning the data around it, right? So I know that, broadly speaking, in my world, 91% of consumers will choose a referral over anything else. I think that's the same thing in the insurance world, right? Where do most people spend their time? On the 9%. Why are you trying to buy leads? You're spending all your time cold calling. You're doing all of these things. You're going after the 9%. Like, that doesn't even make sense. 91% of people are just waiting for someone to say, hey, you can trust David. He'll take care of you. Oh, great. I want to go talk to that person. Right. And so I started to learn that data. I started to realize and learn the data that the average person knows 256 people. So when I started to think about, okay, here's my opportunity just from a math perspective, right? I could go cold call 25,000 people and hope that I have a 2% conversion rate, right? Or I could serve really well 100 people who would become my sales force, to 100 times 256, to that 25,000 group of people. And any one of them that they tell, Garrett's going to take care of you, I have a 91% chance to convert them. I liked that math a lot better. Not only was I spending less time and money and energy on trying to cold call and do all these things and all that, I was just caring for my people, doing it well, right? Systematically in the approach and all those things. But I was elevating their experience, rewarding them and thanking them for what they've done for me. And they're out there telling other people. I share this with agents all the time, for real estate agents all the time. You might be the best cold caller in the world. It's possible, right? If you land on somebody who that same day, they have a good friend who says, hey, Garrett would take great care of you, who are they choosing? They're choosing me. No matter how good you are at cold calling, they always are choosing the referral. It's what TripAdvisor and Yelp, it's why on Amazon, it's the exact same product, but one has 1,000 reviews and one has 10. You buy the 1,000 reviews, you don't even know who those people are, but you inherently want to trust somebody else, right? Over the marketing, over any of those things. So, man, we're wired that way. We are wired to just trust another human and go with it. And so I think that there's such a misunderstanding of how consumers are actually making decisions. And a lot of it, again, is we're chasing after the 9% when we should be effectively building the 91%. In my world, David, it's crazy. 91% of consumers would refer their agent or choose a referral. Only 11% of agents even consistently stay in touch with their past clients. That's insane. They want to refer you. They literally want to. You're doing nothing. Why? You churn and burn. You move to the next one. It's honestly a terrible way to build the business. And you see, even in our world now, Zillow is getting sued for $100 million for some shady stuff that's going on. Yeah. So if your business is built on buying leads from somebody, literally you're renting your business, because at any point they can change the algorithm, they can keep them, they can do whatever they want. The only thing you own is how big is your boat and how many people have you put in that boat. It's the only thing that we own, right? So relationships is the only true foundation that we can really have in this business, because no one can buy those away from me. So, man, I just started to learn. I started to understand the data. I wanted to know how consumers are making decisions, and then just be really intelligent and smart about how I was going to go reach out to them.
I love that, on building a business on something you can control, that you have, then that also is continuously valuable, versus building it on something that, can change at any moment. Like you mentioned, if only there was a biblical story or parable about building a house on some sand or something versus a rock, right? Yeah, and, if we're going to put something in context, like that's it, right? Like, if you're going to truly build something, own it, something that, you have to have that control, and you don't have any of that with leads, right? And there's relationships, and you talking about it blows my mind, and especially in the insurance world, which we're primarily working with on that side of agents, like, hey, I'm going to put the most amount of work and effort with the least amount of leverage to it, of me trying to consistently wake up, do these deals, work them again, and then not work them after the fact, after they've already become customers, are my most valuable connections there, rather than building a workforce that goes out and works for me every single day by spreading my name, who I am, to come work with me. And it's like, would you rather have like 1,000 people going out telling everybody how great you are and then sending those people over to you, or you wake up every day, talk to people who have no idea who you are, and do that over and over again until you literally, I'd rather set my phone on fire than look at it, right? And so, we talk about these things, and agents, it's just the cognitive dissonance is real, of like, oh, maybe this isn't the best way. It's just been the way I was either taught, or just didn't realize that it was possible. So, or
they jump too quick, because it takes time for people to think about you as an insurance agent, right? As a real estate agent, whatever it is. This is something that honestly will change their business dramatically, David. So I learned pretty early on, right? Again, I don't just want to do what the industry told me to do. What I wanted to understand was, how do consumers, again, actually make decisions? So here's what I found out. So there was a famous college football coach, right, from Notre Dame. Now, for some reason, his name is escaping me. But he always talked about every student athlete he was sitting in front of when he was trying to recruit them. Every student athlete was going to ask the same 3 questions. They didn't know it, but they were asking the same 3 questions. Can I trust you? Are you good at what you do? And do you care about me? So I looked at that. I started doing some research, right? And I said, I wonder if that applies to us too, because humans are humans. It doesn't matter what they're buying. They're still thinking the same way. So I looked at that, and I started to study and say, I wonder if that applies to us. Well, here's what I found. And number one, it does. But then I went even deeper. Here's what's crazy, right? This is absolutely crazy. So can I trust you? Are you good at what you do? Do you care about me? So in our industry, and I imagine in your industry, what you're taught is you need to prove to everyone why, number 2, you're good at what you do, why you're the best insurance agent out there, why you're the best real estate agent out there, why you have the best sales or deals or pricing or whatever. Well, guess what consumers can't figure out quickly? Is this person good at what they do? The average consumer only understands your industry at a 2 out of 10 level. So if I ask you all, am I the best? I don't even know if I'm the best agent in this area, right? If you guys said, hey, Garrett, do you think I'm the best insurance agent? I don't know. I don't know what it takes to be a great insurance agent. My dentist, I love my dentist. If someone said, Garrett, is Dr. Archer the best dentist in Newport News? I'd say I have no idea, right? Because I don't know what it takes to be a great dentist. But we all show up as if that's how the consumer is going to make the decision. They aren't. They can't. They don't know, right? Here's the crazy part. The studies that I looked at and reviewed and read through all this stuff, you want to answer all three. The only way to answer all three, right? Most of us go for number two. Here's why I'm good at it. You got to answer all three. Here's how. If you can prove quickly that you're trustworthy, if you can prove quickly that you care about them, the consumer is going to assume you're good at what you do, right? So you should be excellent at what you do because we want to be excellent. And that's how we build a repeat and referral business too. But when you show up trying to prove you're good at what you do, you answer none of them. When you show up and you show that you're trustworthy and that you care, they now think you're also good at it. So you've answered all three, right? So we've in my world, right? So the average agent in my world gets a 40% conversion rate when they get to an appointment, right? So 4 out of 10 times when they're sitting down with a seller or buyer, do they actually convert them into a client? For me, honest numbers, in 11 years, 650 plus homes, I have a 99% conversion with buyers and 95% conversion with sellers solely because of that information. I don't show up talking about me being good at it. I don't share any information, even how many sales we've made, or don't talk about money. I don't talk about anything like that. I show up and I prove to them I'm trustworthy, and I can explain how if that would help, but I'm trustworthy. I show them that I care, right? That's how humans make decisions. A super quick story, David. My wife and I replaced our windows in like 2019. I can't remember. We called out this company. This guy comes in at 6 p.m. We had 2 kids at the time. Comes in at 6 p.m. right around dinner time. He's talking about his amazing triple pane, triple whatever window. I don't know. And he's bashing vinyl windows the whole time. Doesn't matter. And it's like, he comes in at 6 o'clock. Well, come 6:45, my kids are crying. They're clearly hungry. We need to put them to bed, whatever. He doesn't leave. This guy ends up staying until 9 p.m., right? And ends up giving me the most insane number quote anyways. And the only thing he leaves is, hey, call me, let me know when you want to do this, and make sure you don't go with vinyl. Right? His whole pitch was how he's the best one. What did I do? I asked a buddy, right? Hey, who do you know that does good vinyl windows? He referred me to the guy. This guy walks in a day or two later, David, comes in and was right around nap time. This is now in the middle of the day. And he comes in and introduces us. Oh, Garrett, hey, man, you've got young kids. I can tell. I've got young kids too. Man, it's probably nap time. Would it help you if I just walked around the house and measured some windows? And I'll just email you a quote, man. If you got questions, call me. And that's what he did, right? Who did I go with? I went with that guy. He had vinyl windows. I don't know how many he's done. That could have been his first time ever. I can immediately tell, man, this guy cares about me. He showed up and he understood what was going on with me. I can trust this guy, right? Because he was asking me questions. I was sharing with information because I felt safe with him. And he said, man, let me just go around and do it. So now what did I assume? I assumed he was good at what he did. Do I know if he put in the vinyl windows better than everybody else? I have no idea still. I don't know what it takes to put in a vinyl window. It doesn't matter. Who am I telling people about? Him, because of how he treated me. So when we go for sales, right, when we're sitting down with the consumer, we've got to get out of the mindset of proving that we're the best one. We have the best product. We blah, blah, blah. Consumers don't know that answer. They just don't. They can tell very quickly, man, this guy seems like he cares, and I feel like I can trust him. David, you come off that way, right? So it's like, man, then David must be good at what he does. We got to approach consumers in the right way, understanding how they're actually going to make a buying decision. It will absolutely revolutionize your business if you actually implement those things.
I love it. I love it so much. And not is it just the relationships with our prospects and our clients off this, and we want referrals from our clients and those continued relationships, but also like we're really big in like to referral partners and those who deal with target audiences, have trust with them, and building relationships there as well, as that's hugely valuable and making it, really valuable for referral partners. And so, like you said, insurance and real estate go very, very hand in hand. In what ways do you think from like real estate and home buying process that insurance partners and agents alike are valuable at all?
Great question, man. And I'll say this. It's such a good question because I've been in this industry a long time at a high level. I've never had a great insurance partner, right? Because it's, hey, we
some people in your area. So yeah,
great. Then let's do it, man. It's like, I'll sponsor something for you. I really do appreciate that. Right. But depending on the type of business, ours is 100% referral. What I really want, right, is for you to provide a phenomenal experience for my clients. Make sure that you're saying, hey, did you guys leave Garrett and his team a 5-star review, right? And make sure you're telling your friends and coworkers about us. I would love that, right? I've never met an insurance agent as much as the one that we use. I love, never met anybody that's doing that, right? It is a churn and burn. It's too much of that. For me personally, if someone came to me and said, hey, Garrett, we really want to help you generate more referrals. So here's the things we're thinking we would do this year on your behalf, right? So, at the 6-month mark, we want to send them a little gift, happy 6 months from whoever they are. And Garrett, my 210 Realty Group, right? We're excited for you. If at 2 weeks before they came up for the year, they said, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, you're 2 weeks before your due date for the renewal. Let's take a look at your options, right? Those things would mean a ton to me. And we just don't see that in our industry, right? What I'm looking for is someone who actually wants to partner with me, not just say, we'll pay you money and give us business and all those things. That's fine, right? It's not that those are bad per se. I'm looking at someone who's going to help me grow my business, grow my mindset, grow my relationships with people that I have. And so, man, one of the ways that I would do that, as I was thinking about it, to try to encourage your audience, right? Mm-hmm. Number one, you got to know in a deep way the story of why you're doing this, and I can come back to it. But I need to know at a depth of, because there's 1,000 insurance agents in our area, there's 1,000 real estate agents, there's 1,000 mortgage lenders, right? You can't compete by being the best one. That's what we just talked about. What I want to see, our lender that we use, she's not the number one lender, but we sat down and we got to know each other, and she shared with me her heart as to why she got in this industry, right? And just like I did, which was I saw all of this going on and agents weren't giving the time to their people. And so I wanted to come in and serve my people at such a level to build relationships, X, Y, and Z. I can share all that, but I wanted to know her heart and her passion behind it, to know that she was going to share that with my people, right? And then from there, so that's number one. You got to know the purpose. You got to know the why. And then sitting down with them and actually asking me, instead of saying, hey, we'll support some of your events, blah, blah, blah. Sit down and say, Garrett, here's an idea I had for you that's going to be a win to generate you more deals. It can't be about you. It is about you, right? You got to have that business coming back, but it should be about the person you're trying to support. Here's an idea I had for you on how this is going to help you win. Hey, Garrett, tell me about your business. Oh, you do 4 client events a year? Hey, brother, what if we actually planned one of those for you and executed that? Would that serve you guys? Ask questions. Do you care about me and my business, or are you just trying to get me to send you business, right? That's the problem, the inherent problem. And then stop showing up and reminding me you're an insurance agent, right? What I do in my business, we don't talk about real estate almost ever because they know I'm an agent. If I just constantly showed up like, hey, by the way, it's your real estate agent, you'd be like, bro, leave me alone. Stop telling me and asking me, do you know anybody thinking about buying a home? Show up and just be a person. I need relationships. My people need relationships. The average person today, David, has fewer than 2 close relationships by a 10,000 person study. The sad reality is we are over communicated but under cared for. So man, show up and care for somebody. Ask your agent friend, hey, how do I help you grow your business? I was thinking about X, Y, and Z, that I could help you elevate the way you care for your clients and generate maybe some more repeat and referral business. Would that help you? Oh, that would be amazing. That would be amazing for me. And most agents don't even have a system, and I do. It'd still be amazing for me, right? So, man, I think if you're showing up with value, with genuine care, and talking about how can I elevate the experience your people have, not just once, on a consistent basis, man, for me, that would be game over. And for all the agents that I coach and help, if someone showed up to them and said, go with that person because they get it and they actually care about you and your business. So, man, I don't think it's complex. I think it's pretty simple. But show up in the ways they need you to show up. It's going to, same thing with the consumer. The agent wants the same thing. Do you care? Can I trust you? Are you actually going to support me? Fantastic. I don't know what makes you the best insurance agent. You don't know what makes me the best real estate agent. Stop talking about that. Show up in the ways that I can actually understand, and man, then we'll partner together. So yeah, David, anybody in your area, I'd love to talk to, or in my area, I'd love to talk to them because that's what I'm looking for.
Well, and really with us and, group and clients that, they're all across the US, and as insurance is, typically they can work in, a bunch of different areas. To them, it doesn't make as much difference, but P&C, side, your home and auto and everything that, a little more closely aligned to the insurance side, all that stuff does tend to maybe focus on areas there too. But that's where, like, yeah, if, hey, an agent that understands these things, connecting with a real estate agent that, like, yes, those things are highly valuable. I love making those connections, as I'm sure like agents love to have people that understand exactly what you just talked about and bring it, because we're in 100% alignment. It's exactly what we talk to the insurance agent on, is show up, do what you say you're going to do to build that relationship, bring that value to them, as especially loan officers, real estate too. But like, if you can take care of this client, show up, do the stuff, get stuff in place so the deal can close. Cause that's what I care about. I don't care about a $25 gift card to Walmart. I want to go to Walmart in the first place. I want this loan to close. I got to pay thousands on. So please do a good job. And yes, edification. If you're talking up that loan officer, you're talking up that real estate agent, man, isn't Garrett the best? Like, oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely leave him a 5-star review. He would appreciate that a lot. Right. I've known Garrett a long time, man. He's fantastic. Right. You're so lucky to be working with him. Right. That edification is a huge way as well. But we get insurance agents, all the time, like, well, I don't know what to do with them. Like, I don't have all these referrals to send them, or should I pay them and stuff? I was like, guys, have you even just like asked them? Right. Yeah. Like, hey, Garrett, how can I help? How can I help your business? What kind of value can I bring? I was like, man, I got some open houses that take some work to set up. You want to come help me with some of these open houses, set them up, right? And plus, there's a whole bunch of people looking to buy homes, your target audience there, right? And like, oh yeah, I'd love to come to the open house and help you set it up. And I can absolutely be like, man, if you talk to Garrett, he's fantastic. Like, he'd be really great.
100%.
That's so many ways to provide value during that, right?
And I don't need money. You're right. I don't need money. I want more deals. I want to be supported. I want all those things. David, you are so right. Read books and show up to me with new ideas, right? That's going to push my business forward. Man, at the end of the day, if I were to start an insurance business right now today, which I'm not going to, right? But if I was, I'd definitely hire you. But if I was going to do that, right, and needed help and support, I would say, this is what I would do first. I would go meet with as many mortgage lenders and agents as I can. And I would exactly say, hey, I had some ideas for you on how I think you could reach more people, close more deals, have a better conversion rate, whatever it is, X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to pay you anything because I can't pay you enough, right, to make up for bad service. It's not possible. I don't even need to give you referrals. I need to help you generate more referrals. I'd go find them. That would be my bread and butter. Why? They're the tip of the spear, man. They're the ones meeting all the people all the time. I would care for the clients I have coming in, the consumer. Of course I would, and I'd figure out a way to do it. But my attention, my emotion, my money, my effort would be going to supporting the tip of the spear, the lender, the agent, the real estate agent. Those are the people that are going to bring it in. The real estate agent, and sometimes the mortgage lender, but the real estate agent is the guy that gets the call, the girl that gets the call to say, hey, Garrett, do you know a good contractor? Hey, do you know a good insurance? Yes, I got it for you, right? You've got to be top of mind to us, right? Or we're not going to give you referrals because we don't know. And so, man, I would focus my time and attention through them. Success through others, success through them. How do I make your life easier, Garrett? How do I make your business better? If I can do that, you're going to tell other people. You're not just going to tell other people, you're going to tell other agents, and they're going to come into the world, right? So, man, if I was going to stand up an insurance business, and you know way better than me, so if that's terrible advice, then just edit this out. But if I was going to stand up an insurance business, that's who I would focus on. That's my consumer. The end consumer is awesome. That's how I get paid. My real business is built on the backs of these other people who all day are out there talking to the consumer, right? Nobody wants to say, hey, I'm going to go shop around a bunch of insurance places. Nobody wants to do that. They want to say, guys, who do you use? Oh, them? Okay, cool. I'm going to get a quote. If it seems realistic, I'm just going to do it. That's how people make decisions. So, man, if I was going to stand up, that's exactly what I would do.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, people just want someone they can trust that can take them through something, not to get bombarded by a whole bunch of people they have no trust with. We going through a refi process right now or ever, and I know as soon as if I go to any site and I click anything and fill out anything, it's getting sold, it's going off the list, and I'm getting a million calls all at the same time or ever off that. And it's like, it's a terrible experience. No one wants to do that. Just, hey, Garrett, who's the best, or who do you know? Like, cool. Sounds good to me. Let's do it. And that's really how people make sense. And with the rise of AI tech and stuff, I see it even moving more towards that, right? Because
100%.
Now I really don't know what's going on. Just tell me who to go talk to, right?
1,000%.
And I'm in a whole 100% agreement with everything you talked about between agents and both real estate insurance, and that bringing value there. Like we also love agents connecting with each other as far as doing like co-brand, like education ideas, events, webinars, that type of stuff, teaching on stuff, content together, or even just like social content, essentially tapping each other's audiences, building trust together, both exchanging trust levels of audiences to each other and providing value to that end result. So like you said, if someone came to me and like, hey, let's do something that's going to help you get in front of more people, and more something that we can educate on together, other stuff I know that I can bring some value to teach on a little bit for them, and you do that same thing, like that's valuable. Or it's a social, like you said, part of it's just the relationships and just touching with people. I don't have to like tell them all the insurance knowledge or all the real estate knowledge. It's getting in front. So like, hey, let's throw this, get together, this barbecue event, this this grill out event, and get people there, and we'll all talk to them and say a few words or whatever. But like, that's valuable to both sides, right? So at the end of the day, if you're gonna be referral partners, which is got the word partners in it, and that is a mutual exchange of value both ways. Kind of like a marriage, right? Like can't all be one way, and the marriage is the same thing with referral partners, is bring that value. And I just think sometimes agents almost need the ideas and also the permission of, that's how I can approach and bring stuff. Whereas, insurance agents very much in their heads are like, well, unless I got some referrals to send them, like no real estate agent would ever talk to me. Right. And it's like, that's not the case. So,
and that ultimately, and not a mean way, that's a lazy tax. If you got to pay me money to get my business, it's a lazy tax because you can't come up with a better idea. Right. Like the one thing I'll say, and I just thought about this, David, I think this will really help, is I teach about referrals all the time in the real estate world, right? Here's the one thing that every agent wants to do that they don't do: client events. And when I ask them why, they're like, I don't know, it seems way too complex. So I simplify it for them, like, oh, that's amazing, I could totally do that. But here's why it matters to you guys. Because as an insurance agent, if you're sitting there, almost every single real estate agent would want to do a client event. They don't know how. Imagine you go to 5 to 10 real estate agents in your market, or whatever you want to do, because, whatever, they each do 10 deals, whatever it is, however you decide that, and you say, hey, I want to throw a client event, right? We're going to put it on. We're going to pay for it. We're going to run it. This is going to be the simplest thing you ever do. Just invite them in. Let them know that you're inviting them to an event for them, to celebrate them, to thank them for their business, right? We're not going to invite our people. I'm the insurance agent. I'm not going to invite my people. I'm not going to do anything, right? I'm not even going to market myself. I'm literally going to pay for it, support you guys. I know that client events are a big deal and they're hard to run. I'd love for you to come and bring your people. I guarantee you the depth, reciprocity is real, right? But the depth of relationship you now are going to have with those insurance or those real estate agents, I guarantee you no one else is ever going to do that. And so when they have a new real estate agent come into their world, they're like, you need to partner with them. Well, why? Because this guy puts on client events for me. Wow, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. Stop trying to compete like everybody else. Do the things that agents want to do, they just don't know how, or they're afraid of. Man, you will change the way that you get engaging or engagement with the real estate agents. They'll send you the referrals. Man, if that were me, I would do that 100% right now, because most agents don't know how to do it, but they want to. If you did it for them, golly, that would be a game changer.
I love it. And it's not even about the money on that side, because there's a lot of ways to get that even paid for. So on the insurance side, carriers are happy to pay for a lot of things. And so it's like, you're gonna get an event with people together and target audience, and you write a good bit of business with us as a carrier. Like, yeah, like we're happy to contribute towards that. We're happy to be a sponsor for that event or do stuff there, and they're happy to pay for things and input things. Whereas also, like, if you've got a lender you work real close with, hey, I'm gonna put an event together with a lot of these clients and homeowners and stuff like that, and be like, yeah, I'd love to sponsor that, right? And maybe be the lender there as well, right? And so that's the thing, when you bring these relationships together, it's a mutual value across the board, and people like things don't have to be like the limiting beliefs hold back on a lot of that action there. So I think it's hopefully agents listening very closely. There's a lot of ways to bring value. There's a lot of things that you can do there, and go pursue these relationships and bring value to them. And it's going to be a huge win for both of you guys. Absolutely. Versus listen to a dial tone a lot of the day calling leads, right? So I'd much rather go have a good time with a referral partner and have time hanging out with them and clients, and that end up resulting in business for both. It's a lot more fun to me, and also stickier, more quality business too. So
It's good.
Man, time has flown on this as well. Like we got a million other things that we could definitely talk about. So I look forward to some continued conversations for sure. I'll ask you one more question as we kind of wrap up for now, though. What's one boundary that'll immediately improve an agent's business and home life? We talked a lot about business, but we also talked about, that beginning, that support from spouse, and insurance is similar ways of trying to balance business with home life and what that looks like. What are some, just one boundary you find super important for that?
Yeah. So I would say that it's just asking the right question on how to build your business. So here's what I mean. I don't know the numbers right in the insurance world per se, but if someone, and I've gotten this question a lot in the real estate world, Garrett, how do I sell 20 homes this year? And I'll tell them that's the easiest question in the world. Go work 140 hours, borrow $100,000, spend all of it. You'll sell 20 homes, right? Like I can answer that question a ton of ways. In your world, I don't know if it's get 1,000 new policies in place, whatever it is. That if that's the only question, man, that answer is unlimited. You got to ask the right question, right? When it comes to actually building the business in the life that you want, you've got to ask the right question. So I teach the scoreboard idea. How am I keeping score? Yeah, I have a profit goal, but I also have a wife goal, right? To take her on 2-day dates a month. I also have a family goal to take every 7th week off. So now my question is different and allows me to build the business and life I want. Now the question is, let's say it's 20 homes. How do I sell 20 homes this year while still taking 2-day dates a month and being able to take every 7th week off? Now that I've asked the right question, I can actually find the right answer. So ask a better question. It's going to change the way you build your business. It's going to allow you to protect the things that matter most. And so I think we just fail at that. We just focus only on production when there's something greater going on here. Ask the right question, and it will change the way that you take action and change the way that you do things.
I love that. That's so great, Garrett. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. And for those who are like, hey, I want to connect more. I want to see what Garrett's talking about a bit more, what he's teaching, what he's, just learn more about him as well. Like, where can they go to connect?
Yeah, man. So at Garrett Maroon on Instagram, you can follow, you can reach out. If you're an insurance agent listening literally and you're like, how do I engage the agents in my area? I would literally love to help you, right? So at the end of the day, and they can go to thebalancedbreakthrough.com, right? There's free downloads and stuff there that will help them in their business. But my honest heart, David, is I want you to grow your business, listener, because I want you to be home more often for your kids, for your wife, for your husband, for your family. And if I can't help you grow your business, if David can't help you grow your business, then we're going to be stuck at the office grinding it out 24/7. So when I say reach out, I genuinely mean please feel free to reach out. I would love to help, support in any way that I can to help you figure this out, because I want your kids to see you more. That's my heart in this, man. And so, yeah, I hope they follow and they reach out and we can support one another.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Garrett. Guys, I'll have that link included in all the show notes, everything. If you go to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast, we'll have that there for you guys. Go connect with Garrett. Thank you once again so much for joining us on the podcast. Thanks everybody for listening to this episode of the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one.